Hey, Cheryl.
Morning.
Oh, good. You can hear me. Last week, my audio was not working.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was having to go on the phone. Okay, Dad's joined.
I want you to know that usually I'm on my porch right now drinking coffee, but it's too dark for you guys to see me. So,
And windy, probably, to hear you. Is it
uh,
going crazy out there?
I hadn't really noticed, but
No. Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining. Hey, morning. Let's see. All right. Dad, do you have audio?
Yeah, I've got it. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Perfect. Perfect.
Good morning, Cheryl. I may see
good
more.
morning. Hi. Should we all just call you Dad or?
That's fine.
Awesome.
What do you do?
I'm in the insurance business. I started an insurance brokerage firm about a year ago after retiring from the insurance business after about 40 years. So,
Okay. Sounds like something I might do.
yeah.
There you go.
Yes, Cheryl, you're in the mortgage business, correct?
That's right. Yep.
I read your bio. Oh, yeah, nice.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give it a few minutes. Oh, good. Someone's connecting. Someone's iPhone is connecting. And I know it's not me because we don't have iPhones in this house. I guarantee you it's Andrew.
The speaker's off, or it's showing on mine.
Yeah, speaker and video is showing on mine that it's off. Whoever it is, click the icons in your left corner of your screen.
Do we not know how to use this yet?
I know, right? We should all be masters at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've been using them all. Be Live, Zoom, Microsoft Teams,
Really?
StreamYard. Yeah.
I haven't even heard of half those. Which one do you like best?
Depends on what I'm doing, really. Zoom has all the security problems. I've not experienced it yet. Yeah, so they have people that just jump into rooms and be crude or whatever, right?
Gotcha.
So I set up all of mine with a password just so that doesn't happen. I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm not interested in doing it either.
Right.
StreamYard is awesome for live videos on Facebook.
Okay.
And it's a little easier to use than Be Live. The problem with it, though, is that your people who are commenting have to give StreamYard permission to attach to Facebook. So they might not realize that, even though we put it in every description. And so we don't get as many comments as I'd like, maybe.
Okay.
But it's a really easy platform, and you can put up to 6 people live, whereas Be Live, you can only do like 2 or 3.
Okay. Huh. That's cool though.
We actually did real estate connections on StreamYard the other day.
Really?
Yeah, because you can load 10 people into the room and have 6 on screen, and then you can just switch them out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fun.
That's awesome. Hold on. He's having trouble. Okay. Yeah. So Shamari's having an issue. She said, yeah. Hold on, let me see. In the right.
So Cheryl, are you using the video conferencing with your clients or prospects? Is that the way you're communicating these days?
Less for that. I don't meet a lot of my clients in person anyway. We spend a lot of time on the phone.
Okay.
And I get my hand slapped a little bit from my upper sales team because they wonder why I spend so much time on the phone. But that's really part of what I do. You know, I'm not just a salesperson. I really, it's the education that's important for me. And so when they have a ton of questions, I answer them. So
Right.
it keeps me on the phone. I mean, my initial phone call is supposed to be 15 minutes, and it's rarely under 30.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
but I also don't need to do 40 loans a month, right?
Right.
I would rather do 10 quality.
Yeah.
Morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Andrew.
Oh,
Hey, so, okay. Shamari's having issues. She said she's trying, that was the iPhone, I assume. I unmuted and selected video. I think it's because I'm using my phone. I'll try again. Okay. We'll give her a second to try to join and see if Matt and Roman actually join. You know, Matt and Roman keep accepting and they keep saying, I'll be there. We'll see if they actually wake up.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed last week. I already had
No
something
worries.
committed.
Yeah, no worries at all.
yeah, I'm going to go make some coffee. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
All right, cool.
So Reed, your mother says that you need to change the time on this. It's screwing up our dog getting up and her having to wake up early. So
Well, I'm sorry old Willie's struggling at the moment.
well, he's blind. What can I say?
Right. Oh man.
And my dog was a little confused this morning when I let him out, played with him, and then put him back in his crate. He was like, but, I'm like, you know, you'll just whine and bark and try to sit in my lap. And
Yeah. Well, mine's sitting right at my feet right now. I'm sure Knox is with you, right?
Well,
Reed?
he was until about 10 minutes ago, and then I think he got bored and went upstairs back to bed. So, you know, I mean, I got up at 5, and you know, typically Macy wakes up when this isn't crazy at 4 or 4:30 in the morning. So he eats breakfast at like 4:30 in the morning. So, but then he'll go right back to sleep. He's like, "Thanks, peace." You know. Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. So, well, I guess if Andrew when he comes back, and if Shamari's still not in, she's trying to get in. She said.
It's hard with the phone. I don't, you know.
Oh, really?
Or it is for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Qualify that. Yeah.
Awesome.
so they're tearing down a house 2 doors down from me. I live in East Cobb, and the subdivision I live in is basically one of 3 price points. You buy land, or you buy $1 million, or you buy somewhere in between, right?
Okay.
These guys bought a lot and tore down a house, and they're building probably $1 million home, but they start at 7:00 every morning.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Which I'm awake typically,
Yeah.
but it messes with my coffee time.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's your meta time. So you get up and go. You know.
Exactly.
Oh, there's Matt. All right. Perfect. I guess as soon as Matt joins in and Andrew gets back from his cup of coffee, we'll start.
I don't know if you guys had high winds this morning. But
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, the trees. I thought.
Morning.
Morning, Matt. How are you?
Doing well. How's everybody doing in MIE?
Good.
Good. Hey,
Yeah,
so
I had the same thing.
Yeah, we got one person trying to get in. They're having issues, and then Andrew, you can see he's on mute. He's getting a cup of coffee, so as soon as he comes back, we'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
Yeah, and what we'll do this week, since we had few last week, and you know, a lot of y'all don't know each other. When it gets to you, do your like brief intro to who you are, bio, what you did in the past, and then those kind of points on what we're talking about. So that way everyone can get kind of a feel of what we all do. Cool. Andrew, hurry up. It can't take that long. We all have Keurigs. There it is.
I don't. I do pour over.
Yeah,
well,
I
you're cool.
got a whole thing, man.
Of
I gotta
course you
grind,
do.
Nice.
I gotta grind the beans. I gotta put the thing in. I don't even have the cup
course.
yet. Jeez.
Of course you do. Do you have your cup?
Yeah, hey, I'm not wearing a suit today, so you.
I know that's a first, guys. I've never seen this man not a sport coat, and that includes being at a pool before.
That is not true, but
yes.
okay.
Yeah. Well, you weren't. You just came down. He also wore to a pajama Christmas party a full suit. So
That is not true. I wore a sport coat, and I was supposed to go out afterwards.
okay, whatever. Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully, Shamari can figure out her issues. She said she could hear us, no video, no nothing else. She said she's trying, so we'll go ahead and start. Awesome. Well, again, thank y'all for coming. I want to introduce why we're doing this again this week. This is, not to sell your services per se, but this is more to take a strategic approach to what the environment is and what we can do to better our business and ourselves throughout it. Okay. So those of y'all, obviously y'all all know me. I've been in real estate for going on 5 years. Yeah, 5 years this year. I currently am equity partner and vice president of commercial operations for a new commercial real estate brokerage. Cheryl's familiar with my partner as well. She knows Chris Lazarus. And so that's me. That's what I do. And that's why we're here. This week, our topic is we are looking for opportunity in a time of panic. I originally wrote crisis, but I think that puts a bad connotation on it. And the quote I'm opening up with this week is, when sheep panic, wolves make moves. And what that means, to me, at least in a business sense, is, when you see the masses scared, they typically start selling off stock, they start selling the real estate, they start doing, whenever they all do one mass exodus, that's when the smart business leaders and investors and individuals start looking at the opportunity there. Blood in the streets is when you buy. That's what Warren Buffett has said before. So, I think it's all about looking at the opportunity when the masses are screaming, running around with the chickens with the heads cut off, what it's really going to look like and where those opportunities lie because of that. So on my, I almost just closed everything. Sorry. I was trying to minimize it so I can bring up my stuff. Perfect. Okay. So, on the topic of looking for opportunity, what this really means for me is being in commercial and doing leasing as well as investments. I try to look at the big picture, and I think that's what we all need to do. So I'm looking at the grand scale of two things: who is going to be negatively impacted on this and who's going to be positively impacted. On the negative aspect, it kind of goes back to that sheep thing where people start selling. Unfortunately, there's, properties are typically leveraged, and when tenants, whether that's multifamily or commercial tenants, aren't paying rent, then those landlords can't pay their mortgage, of course. So we think that even with the stimulus, there might be some drop-offs and people that were over leveraged on assets. And for me, that means getting in front of these people and looking for opportunities when people start trying to sell because they're panicking and probably need cash fast. On the positively affected side, I'm looking at companies, consumer spending is still up. I mean, Amazon's growing like crazy. And we all know that the market of internet and shipping is where everything lies right now. I mean, hell, we get most of our groceries delivered to us. My wife is still ordering off Amazon. I mean, I can't tell you how many packages of Amazon I get weekly. It's insane. They don't even knock. But so for me, that means, looking at logistics centers, industrial, and I think that's going to be the strongest sector to even come out of this. I think it's still going to be shipping center, distribution facility, and everything like that. So my biggest thing is, finding where these people are and understanding their needs and how to get in front of them without doing face-to-face. So Cheryl, ladies first, I would like you to open up today.
Sure.
If you don't mind. So if you could do
Sure.
your quick intro and then
Yep.
kind of your thoughts on the topic as well. And
Sure.
like I said, I was going to have this time, but I think we'll be able, if we just, respect it. We don't have all the, if we had the 2 more people in here, I would time it. But I think today, we can just knock it out going one by one.
Perfect. So I'm Cheryl Capelli, and I'm with Annie Mac Mortgage, and I'm a 15-year veteran in the mortgage business. So I have been through this mess before, and at the time, the first time, I was an underwriter and a processor, so I was very, very familiar with guidelines and how they were changing daily. And so I think that helps me in this particular time because that's happening again. What I do like to see is that the banks and lenders seem to be responding more quickly, which can be scary to people because we're losing programs left and right. But what that also means is that they understand that they are over leveraged, at risk, and they need to rein in that risk so that they can stay in business. So that's really where I excel, is in keeping up with the guidelines, keeping up with the programs, and educating my clients with that. So, what this means for me, it's a little scary to have to go through that kind of thing again. With how these guidelines are changing and how we're not sure how people are actually going to be helped. There's a lot of misinformation out there right now. And that's really because there's no hard and fast rule across the servicers what they're going to do for clients. So that's really kind of the negative side for me because, I saw a lot of buyers that took advantage of a program that they didn't completely understand, or owners that took advantage of those programs and ended up hurting themselves in the long run, which meant that our recovery was longer. But on the positive side is I do have that experience and I can educate folks and try to help them walk through the least impactful or damaging to their situation. But opportunity-wise, while I think we will see some buyers be pushed out of the market because of some of these changes and the lenders taking on less risk, I don't think we'll slow down. I think we'll see more quality people coming to the table who might not have been able to afford to move up or hadn't really thought about moving into a house. Our millennials, the average age of a first-time home buyer is 29.8. So we have a lot of millennials right in that little area. It might accelerate that a little bit for them. And we'll just get some more quality people. And I just, my goal is to be there with the answers when they do. I think we'll see some really low rates, and I think we'll be in the 2s.
Really? The 2s?
Yep, I listen to a lot of really, really smart people, and that's what's going to have to happen to keep this economy going, because we've got to keep money moving.
Right.
And as we keep the Fed rate down, there's even talk, and I'm not sure I agree with this one, but there's even talk of that going into the negatives.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Heard that too.
Yeah, and I think go on. Yeah.
And so I just think that, being in front of people, doing what I do, educating them is my opportunity, right? Because I don't think we're going to slow down.
Awesome. Well, I like the positivity. I heard the other day, we had a conversation with my financial advisor, and he's basically saying the same thing. He's like, I think we're going to come out of this strong. And I think it's going to be kind of what you said. There's going to be more quality out there.
Sure.
And
there's a lot of lenders that have reemerged into products that we shouldn't be offering.
Really?
I mean, these non-QMs, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of digging into that. And while we have more equity than we've ever had before, we're still taking on a lot of risk.
Gotcha.
Which is what led to what we had last time.
Exactly.
But again, we still have more equity, so I don't think we're going to see a massive downfall like we did in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Because people do really have more equity than they've ever had. And if the rates do go in the twos, now we can capitalize on that equity, pull it back out, pump money back into the market, and just keep it going. Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate it. No, that was good. All right, Matt, if you'll do your introduction, please, sir. And then
Absolutely. I was about to say, it sounds like a great time to refinance you.
Yeah.
It will be. It's not right now, but it will be.
Did it last week.
Did you? Yeah. I'm looking into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
well, rates are artificially high right now, so.
Yeah. I had a neighbor who actually did a home equity. They had a beach house down in Florida that got destroyed. And then they were just about done with the process for the construction loan to rebuild. And then this kind of popped up on the radar. They did a home equity refi at 2%. And are using that to rebuild the beach house. I was like, that is
equity, right?
Yeah,
if you have an equity position, you are in a much better shape. So they had options.
Yeah. So I mean, that's you factor in inflation, it's free money effectively. So, But anyhow, my name is Matt Crotson. I'm a director of business development for PGAL. I did not actually plan that. This is the cup I grabbed today.
Yeah, right. I saw that product placement.
Yeah. We are a national architectural and engineering firm, primarily architectural, and that's the sole focus in Atlanta. Markets of aviation, civic, municipal, higher education, hospitality, gaming, with some other asides like in healthcare, that sort of thing. We've got 13 offices across country, about 300 people, pretty lean and mean. And right now, actually, we have not stopped. We had a lot of big national projects that have actually accelerated through this process. So we're also privately held, so we have no shareholders to make happy at this point, but we are cash strong. I haven't let a single person go. In fact, maybe bringing some people on. So we're looking to take advantage of this opportunity. And there, a lot of other firms have let people go, which I think is very short-sighted, which I think we're going to be able to pick up some good people through that. So I think that's going to be a good opportunity. A challenge for us in some of our smaller projects, especially those that are bond funded, is they haven't paused or delayed, but they're just taking a long time to make a decision. And that's completely on the fact, kind of what you touched on, Cheryl, is the interest rates have collapsed in that. So the financiers on that are not making the money on the back channel. So they're kind of all just taking a pause and, okay, let's see if this builds back up. That was, kind of actually it was a revelation to me. I was listening to an economic report when the SBA projects or offerings, or what do you want to call those, came out. And when that originally hit the airwaves, I think it was at 0.5%. And the bank said, hey, can you at least give us 1%? Because we're making no money on this. And that kind of a light bulb went off. I'm like, that's what's going on. That's why everybody is so long they're just hoping this will end sooner than later, and things will come back. But I think I agree with you, Cheryl, that we are going to come back just roaring on this. This pause it happened at a very busy ramping up period. And I think that demand is still, there are some areas making hospitality may retract a little bit, but that may be also kind of thinning out the herd on the restaurant scene and that kind of stuff, and who's going to be able to survive. We don't do a ton in that area, so it's not a big factor. But our biggest area is aviation, and we're doing terminal projects in Los Angeles and New York. those have actually accelerated. So, airline revenue is a big thing that funds that. They're seeing this as an opportunity. Okay, let's go ahead and get this rolling so that it'll be done sooner, because that demand is going to become, slamming back into us, and we're not going to be ready. Other things, I mean, it is opening up opportunities in other areas like tenant TIs and that kind of thing. In areas, some businesses are going to be some of that. And I think too, this is giving some people some pause. I mean, we're actually doing a sort of an office furniture renovation in our office right now because there's nobody there. It's a wonderful time to do it. So that's kind of how we're coming at this. But I mean, I honestly have been as busy or busier, and don't see that changing anytime soon. Hoping this ends, with it by at least May. But that's kind of it in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Well, that's good that y'all are, you're still accelerating and you're looking for hires. I actually met the other month one of your guys over there that was leaving to go back to school.
McMahon? Yeah.
Yeah. I met him.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, he seemed like it. He had great things to say about y'all, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Matt. Dad, if you'll go, then Andrew round us out, and then we'll open it up.
Yes. Well, good morning, Cheryl and Matt. Nice to meet you. Andrew,
morning.
good to see you again. My name is AC Moore. As Cheryl said, you can just call me Dad. But I'm in my 42nd year of being in the insurance field. I've worked almost 30 years for a Fortune 50 company, as well as I have owned and managed different insurance agencies. As of a year ago, I started up a benefits and consulting firm. I have 3 other gentlemen in the firm with me, and that's my commercial on that. But what I've been listening to this morning is one, I'm very proud of you because flexibility is what we've got to look at. As the market changes, obviously I'm old enough that I've been through this 2 or 3 times, and you have to be flexible in the marketplace. There is no business as usual forever. You have to look at the opportunities, flex to those opportunities, and that's the way you survive. In my particular field, you've probably heard this buzzword out there several times, but telehealth. Telehealth is what the buzzword is right now for the health insurance industry, and making sure that you have one of the best products. Again, opportunity for me is being able to look at companies' benefits, see if they have a telehealth product, see if it's tied to their health insurance product. If it is, it's really not helping them or the employer. That you need to have a third party, because the whole thing about telehealth is reducing the frequency and severity of your healthcare program. Matt, I saw your background. You work for Canal Insurance, you're a claims person, and Crawford and Company. Very familiar with both of those companies, and you understand the words frequency and severity. So again, that's what keeps your rates down in any insurance program, but definitely health insurance programs. And so that's where we bring our expertise in, is to come in and analyze for different companies, whether it's a gig economy with one person or it's a Fortune 500 company with 300,000 people. So we just try to offer our services in that. But unlike you, Matt and Cheryl, I have not been busy this past month. It has been, it has almost come to a halt. And what I've done is I've tried to keep my team motivated by Zoom and learning new technologies and things like that. I do have a new account kicking off in May, so I'm hoping that all will go well with that. But I've taken this time to take our existing customers, give them some needed care and hand holding and assistance to make sure they're happy. And the best form of new business is a referral from your existing business. So
Exactly.
that's what I'm taking from this. Basically, time off, I would say, is look at those opportunities from within rather than having to reach out. And you always need to reach out for new opportunities, but make sure you're taking care of what's in your house first.
Awesome. Well, Andrew, so my thing keeps going off that we have 10 minutes. So I'm going to jump Shamari and have you round it out since you already have practice doing this. Sound good? Andrew?
Oh, yeah. You want me to go?
No, I'm saying I'm going to have Shamari jump in and do it. So I'm going to do a quick introduction for her. Hey, Shamari, I'm glad you were able to join.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So real quick, quick introduction into you and how you're looking for opportunities in this time of crisis. And then we'll bounce to Andrew. So 2-3 minutes, bounce to Andrew, and then we'll kind of do a quick wrap up before my Zoom shuts off because apparently I need to upgrade.
Okay, no problems. It's okay. I'm Shamari Moton. I run a catering business. It's called Fresh Indulgence. I also work in hospitality where I have over 14 years. I'm currently working for IHG. Business has been going quite well, to be honest with you. Being that they're only offering takeout orders or, carry out orders, we're able to use an incubator kitchen and still make deliveries as well. So we're going to homes like AC Moore said, hey, the referral business is everything right now. You can't market on Instagram and have a huge event the next day. It's more so, hey, mom, this food was great. You should try it. And then we're doing mom, and then we're doing grandmother's food. So business for us has been business as usual. Really no changes as far as the output of it, but as far as bringing together a massive group, that's not happening. We're used to doing 150 to 300 guests, as far as catering events go. So besides that, we're still pushing.
That's awesome. I'm glad to see that y'all are still working. I mean, I know you work hard, but I'm glad to see that y'all are still churning and burning on that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
And nice to meet everyone. Sorry, I'm late.
Nice to meet you.
I was having issues with my phone. I think when it comes to Zoom, I use my work phone, and there's a lot of security issues when it comes to Zoom. So it's like encrypted that I can't use it on my phone. So sorry, I had to pull out my laptop.
No issues. Glad you made it. Awesome. Well, Andrew, you want to round it out?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been living in Atlanta for most of my life, went down to school in Miami and came back and started working with the family business, which was construction program management here in Atlanta. So we did a lot of representing developers, Midtown Alliance, CAP, a lot of municipalities, little city entities. And primarily our focus was actually nonprofit organizations. So a lot of churches, a lot of temples, a lot of things like that. Piedmont Park, Atlanta Streetcar, Botanical Gardens, some of those are, and Pond City Markets are a big one that we worked on. So a lot of experience in the construction world. And then I left to go get my MBA and started working at a Trimont Real Estate Advisors for servicing some very large loans on construction deals. So our average loan size is about $50 million. They range anywhere from 20 million up to, I have two deals now that are $2 billion loans, which are very interesting. Yeah.
What's the rate on those?
There is one that we had that someone told me was collecting not during my time, but there was a $500,000 of interest a day.
Wow.
So that was a short-term loan, but so you can put that into perspective.
Yeah.
That was I think it's just a little bit of a bridge thing, but I did hear that one, which is kind of insane.
Nuts.
So I work primarily all on the construction side of things. all about reviewing the draws, reviewing the construction projects that are actually having construction loans. So one of the things that I think that we're going to see, and I'm very curious to know what's happening, a lot of the clerks' offices are closed. So people that are in construction know that lien waivers are a big factor of every single draw, making sure all the subcontractors have lien waivers. And if they don't have them, they can, or even if they do, they can go and file a lien at the clerk's office. All the clerk's offices are basically closed. So how does that happen? We have, we've had to deal with a lot of attorneys trying to figure out how to indemnify the insurance company, as well as, the protecting the lender essentially on the different liens that could arise, because if we're not getting a up-to-date title run every single month at, let's say if we're having funding next week and we have a title run today, the date listed on some of these liens because of the clerk's offices is March 12th, March 13th, which is a month ago. There could be a lot of different things happening in a month that subcontractors are actually coming up. We haven't seen too many issues yet, but my take is that in about a month is when we're really going to see things. That's when the 60 days, the 30 days on some of those lien waivers are really going to come up. And the subs are going to say, okay, now I need to file something. They're going to reserve their rights to put a lien on the properties. So I think there's going to be a big uproar in potential liens on properties. And I'm curious to know what's going to happen with that. I just don't know. We'll see what happens, but the clerk's offices being closed is going to be interesting. We're also seeing a lot of permitting things. We have one project that unfortunately is ready to go. They have approval. It's in a city that is actually active. It's actually here in Atlanta. So it's actually active for construction. However, they don't have permits, and the city of Atlanta's permitting office is closed. So they can't do anything until Atlanta opens up the online permitting, which is supposed to happen hopefully next week.
Okay.
We'll see, but it's one of those weird predicaments because they could be on site working, but they just don't have their latest fire and safety permit. So what do they do?
Yeah.
I actually I'm connected through LinkedIn with Tim Keene, Andrew, and he's been writing recently that they're looking at third-party permitting in the city of Atlanta to try to fill in that gap, which, wow, that sounds like, it sounds like an easy solution, but also sounds like a very complicated thing to get set up.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. My father is very well connected, good friends with Tim Keene, so he's definitely sent me some information on some of that stuff that's going on. Third-party inspectors, they're going to start doing that. My understanding is with the easier stuff like arborists, and then slowly migrate into different things because there's shadier things can happen when you have third parties on the road.
Yeah. So, especially city of Atlanta.
Track record is not good.
So true.
Compliance has been going through a lot.
There is a reason the FBI is in City Hall.
Exactly. So
I was also going to say that I'm curious what's going to happen with the home buyers. Because Cheryl, you brought up the home buyers, and I think there's a lot of people that are looking to do that. But then what is that going to mean for improvements? Are they going to pick up, are they just going to go to Lowe's and pick up, supplies and do the house renovation themselves? Are they going to, look at local contractors? And I'm wondering if there's going to be an open opportunity for general contractors to go into the more residential construction world, which
I think you're dead on. Yeah.
Right.
In fact, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, we have just less than a minute, so we can wrap this up on email if you want me to. But I think that you'll see more renovation loans because you'll have a lot more people staying in place too.
Yeah.
Because they have some trepidation or they lost a lot of money in the market.
So. That makes sense. Well, guys, like I said, thank you, Cheryl, for pointing that out. We have less than a minute, so if this just closes out on us, I might be switching us over to Duo. Has anyone used Duo yet? Okay, it's Google's platform. Apparently, it's free and you can host better people, and I don't think it's timed. So I might switch over there. We'll check everything out.